Hi, I'm John Canary,
I'm Jim Ruda.
and we're here with Turning Points once more. A turning point that may make a huge difference in your life. You know, not too long ago, I came upon a story that I was very aware of, but I think I needed to read it again. And it was an interview being conducted by the great Napoleon Hill. He was interviewing someone by the name of William Penpatrick. And by the way, I sat and I worked at Mr. Patrick's ranch down in California many years ago. He was a school teacher in his 20s. And then something happened in this man's life that moved him in a whole new direction. A turning point, you could say. A turning point where at the age of 32, he won the Horatio Alger Award, which is the highest honor for a young businessman to win in the United States. When Mr. Hill was interviewing him, he suddenly became aware that the government attempted to even shut down William Penpatrick and his enterprises because they said, at the rate he was moving, Jim, that everybody in the United States would have been working for him within a 10-year period. Now you think about that. One person had that kind of a change and that kind of a turning point in his life. What was that change and that made him move in that new direction? Well, you know, Jim, it was amazing to me how this simple sentence that he gave to Napoleon Hill, when Hill asked him, tell me, what was that single ingredient that made this difference or was the turning point in your life? And he said, the day that I stopped lying to myself was the very first point. And the second one, he said, is I made commitments that I would never make a promise to anyone that I did not intend to keep and to do everything I could to meet it. Jim, 2 points that can make a difference in the life, no matter what end of life we're talking about, health, happiness, or wealth.
Absolutely true, John. And you know, I'm as you're talking, I'm reminded of that the idea that you always want to underpromise and overdeliver. Because the big problem we have a lot of times in business is because we try to help, and a lot of people, certainly in the financial business that we work with, to a large degree at least, they get in that business because they want to help. And because they have that motivation to help, they think, well, gosh, I'm going to promise to do everything possible. Like, gosh, I think we all have that problem. I know I do sometimes. But if you overpromise, you promise more than you could possibly handle, and then you underdeliver, nothing ruins credibility and trust more than that. And it's oddly enough, it's all for the right reasons. We're trying to help, we're trying to do well, but we end up doing poorly because of that. I think in part it's because our ego gets in the way. We think, well, we have to be capable of all things. And instead to say, there's a way to say, let's focus how much we can do. Let's find a way to not pretend that we can do everything for everyone. Let's stick with the things we know. And I think that probably happened with William Penpatrick as well. You get a chance to decide, these are the things I can do. You make the commitments. You make honorable, honest commitments that you can truly meet, and then you meet them. And I think that it was a unique characteristic in people many years ago during those kinds of interviews. I think, oddly enough, it's still very unique today, where people say what they're going to do and then do what they're going to say.
Isn't that the truth, Jim? In fact, today, why don't you sit down, take a pen and a pad, and decide what are the things that maybe you've been cheating yourself on, things that you can become, things that you can do, and maybe the kind of a life that you can have. Why don't you examine it today and see an area that you can make a huge change in, which will become a turning point in your life. We'll see you in our next message.